The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal. I am a diplomat with the fastest growing designer fashion house, your favorite global wealth trade. Today we will talk about your why. Your why is everything, will put everything possible for you. Now, the power of your why is what gets you to stick through the hard days, the cloudy days. We all have good days and bad days, and this will help you. All of the hows will be meaningless until your why are powerful enough. Until you set your desire and motivation in place, you abandon any path you seek for that better life. If your why power, your desire isn't good enough, if the fortitude of your commitment isn't powerful enough, you'll end up like every other person who makes a New Year's resolution and give up too quickly and revert to that like sleepwalking through poor choices. So let me give you an analogy to help bring it home. So if I were to put a 10 inches wide, 30-foot long plank on the ground and say, if you walk the length of the plank, I'll give you $20. Would you do it? Of course you would. It's an easy $20. But what if I took that same plank and made a rooftop bridge between 200-story building? That same $20 for walking the 30-foot plank no longer looks desirable or even possible, right? You'd look at me and say, well, not in a lifetime. However, if your child was on the other building and that building was on fire, you'd walk the length of that plank to save him, right? Without any question, and immediately you do it, $20 or not at the end of it. And this is why it's very important for you to find your why. Everybody have a strong why, and your job is to figure out how to verbalize it for yourself and for others. See, we all go through good days and bad days, but it's our why that bring us back every single time. Also, people really don't care how or what you do. What they want to know is why you're doing it. Why are you doing this? And share your vision. Which brings me to share something about, if your goal is to reach a certain place in your life, if you haven't reached the full on of it in a year or in 2 years or in 5 years, would you quit? Well, if your why is strong enough, you will keep going no matter how long it takes. It might even take you 10 years, but it will be worth it. And that's the importance of your why. So what we're going to do is I have a fun activity that will help you to find those why. What you're going to need is a pen and paper or multiple papers, and you're going to need some sort of timer. You're going to have to time yourself for 10 minutes, a full 10 minutes with no distraction. Now, the key here is once you start writing down uh, about this activity, you will find that after a few minutes, you will run out of ideas. And this is the importance of keep on writing every single thing that comes in your mind, because it's after those couple minutes, that's really where you go deep into why you're doing this. So let's get started with some ideas of what you're going to write down. So imagine you have all the money available. What would you do with it? What would your lifestyle look like? So, what kind of house would you have? What kind of car would you have? Where would you travel? Where would you go? Would you go back to school? What kind of education? What kind of charity would you give back? What kind of work would you do? Would you still work? Would you have more kids? Would you give back? And how would you give back? See, everything is available and possible as long as you know why you're doing it. So I'm going to give you some ideas to write down, but it will be your job to make sure you take those 10 minutes and write down every single thing. So first, again, with all the money available to you, what would your lifestyle be? How would your house be? Some ideas here. How big would it be? What kind of car would you drive? How fast would it go? What kind of performance or luxury would it be? Now, how about traveling? Where would you go? How often in a year would you go there? What kind of adventure would you get? Now, charity. What kind of charity would you help? How would you help them? Would you give back to them? Money, time, labor? Now, education. Would you go back to school? Would you get a better school for your kids? Would you still work? A very important one as well here is your health. Would you take some time now that you have all the money available to exercise more or to eat better? Maybe you'll have your personal cook. Maybe you'll go out to restaurant more often. But really, what about you? Right? With everything available to you, how would you treat yourself? How confident would you be? How successful would you feel and be? Right? How would you dress? How would you stand? What kind of posture would you stand around you? Would you do some volunteering for special causes? And that's what I want to share today. Very important to take those 10 minutes to write down why you're doing this business. Because again, some days the clouds are there. But I want you to remember the sun always comes back and shine and help us out. It's through our whys. And as Ramin Mesgarlou, our amazing CEO and visionary, always says, everything starts with the foundation, and your why is your foundation. Thank you very much.